Welcome everyone to Warriors Ukrainian with the latest news as of Sunday, the 1st of October 2023. This is Diana bringing you up to date. Today, we mark the Day of Defenders. Let us honor those who are fighting and let us remember those who gave their lives for our freedom. Glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. And now, what we love to see every day, the daily figures. What have we got today? 440 Russian soldiers destroyed, 11 tanks destroyed, 7 APV, 30 artillery systems, absolutely amazing, 2 MLRS, 1 aircraft, 37 UAVs, 29 vehicles and fuel tanks, and 1 special piece of equipment. The head of European diplomacy, Josep Borrell, arrived in Kiev today. Together with Volodymyr Zelensky, they took part in events honoring Ukrainian defenders. Now this really is reason to celebrate. 5,000 Russian drones have been destroyed, according to the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine. Fantastic job, guys. We were all very excited to hear that British soldiers will be stationed in Ukraine for the first time, according to the UK Defence Secretary Grant Shapps. British military instructors will train Ukrainian military directly in Ukraine. In addition, Shapps called on more British defence firms to open up their enterprises in Ukraine. Sadly, explosions were reported in Kharkiv, and earlier, so-called martyrs attacked the Odessa region. When is this going to end? Now in this next clip, you'll see some absolutely brilliant footage which takes you through time, and the quote is, "This will not end with us unless we end it," according to the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, reminding us what Russia has done, what it's doing now, and what it would do in the future given the chance.
There is nothing they admire so much as strength, and there is nothing for which they have less respect than for weakness.
Ich bin ein Berliner.
Tear down this wall.
Слава нашим захисникам, слава нашим захисницям. Слава Україні!
Aren't we all so sick of seeing this work from the barbarians? Russians massively attacked the Cherkasy region with strike drones last night. There were hits on industrial infrastructure in Uman, according to the head of the OVA, Igor Taborets. As a result, fires broke out in warehouses, in particular where the grain was stored. At least one person was injured. A woman was taken to hospital. And this is what we want to see a lot more of. How many Shahed drones are shot down? Air Defense Forces shot down 16 out of 30 attack UAVs, Shahed 131 and 136. And this is what we want to see a lot more of. How many Shahed drones are shot down? Air Defense Forces shot down 16 out of 30 attack UAVs, Shahed 131 and 136. And more from Russian territory. You're going to love this. Russian artists are already drawing Tu-95MS bombers at the Engels airfield. This can be seen in published satellite images of the airbase. Guess what? Painted airplanes do not cast shadows. And now to Turkey. Attackers detonated a bomb near the Turkish government buildings in Ankara today. 2 assailants are dead and 2 police are injured as Kurdish militant group claims responsibility for the blast. 2 assailants detonated a bomb in front of Turkish government buildings in the heart of Ankara in what authorities said was a terrorist attack that left both dead and 2 police officers wounded. Kurdish militants later claimed responsibility for the blast, which was the first in the Turkish capital since 2016 and happened less than a mile away from the parliament building today, hours before lawmakers were due to return after a 3-month summer break. In his speech to mark the opening, the president, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, slammed the morning attack as the last flutters of terrorism. He added, "Those who threaten the peace and security of citizens have not achieved their goals and never will." An offshoot of the Kurdish militant group, the Kurdistan Workers' Party, PKK, the Kurdistan Freedom Hawks, TAK, claimed responsibility for the attack. The same group was responsible for 2 bombings that struck the Turkish capital in 2016. It was specifically envisaged that this action would be carried out on the opening day of Parliament, very close to the Parliament building, they said in a statement released by a Kurdish news agency. The group added that the time of the attack was chosen to avoid larger casualty numbers. It took place exactly as planned without any obstacles, they said. Ali Yerlikaya, the Interior Minister, said on the social media platform X that 2 attackers approached the General Security Dictatorate building at about 9:30 a.m. local time on Sunday in a commercial vehicle. According to Yerlikaya, 1 detonated explosives, killing themselves in the process, while the second was killed by gunfire from security forces stationed outside the building. 2 police officers were slightly injured in the incident, he added. We love the partisan group Atesh. According to them, occupiers are building defensive lines near Feodosia after successful Ukrainian attacks on military targets. The partisans report that groups have already been formed to collect information about such structures, and information about some defensive lines is already known. Thus, the Rashists erected dragon teeth on the Feodosia side and fortifications on the Batalny side. And this diagram shows you the attacks that Russia committed on Ukraine last night. Won't you be glad not to see these anymore? And another story from Sochi in Russia. GUR, the Defense Intelligence of Ukraine, today successfully attacked the parking lot of Russian helicopters in Sochi. They attacked with the help of UAVs, 800 kilometers from our borders, just for a moment. The map shows the trajectory. And now a story from the US of A. Lend-Lease for Ukraine has ended. It was in effect until the end of the 2023 fiscal year, which ended on September 30th. Lend-Lease weapons, however, did not arrive, as the United States provided weapons to Ukraine without payment or conditions. And now, a story about Turkey and Ukraine. According to the General Director of Baykar Makina, we can fully produce Bayraktar TB2 in Ukraine, instead of assembling it. Also here, we can fully produce Bayraktar Akinci. We have permission for this from our government, which shows how close we are to implementation. Ukraine is the first country to have such a permit. Well done. And now, let's have a look at the M1124 Max Pro of the ZSU with an anti-drone visor to protect the machine gunner. Don't you love it? Our final story takes us again to Russia. In the city of Tobolsk, in the Tyumen region, there was a gas explosion and a huge fire which started as a residential building. Seems to me there's a fire every day in Russia. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all we have for you today. We hope you found it informative. We're trying to keep you up to date. Likes, comments, we love your feedback. Of course, you've already subscribed. Have a good evening. Have a great day. Slava Ukraini!